Consciousness and reality. The illusion of separation. Uncovering the true self versus the flesh-mind ego. Beginning with Galatians chapter 5 verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. A soul should live entirely from within its true spiritual self, and not its flesh-mind ego. The flesh-mind ego is trapped by depending upon its own understanding. It is reactive to physical reality, ruled by survival, defense mechanisms, social comparison, and the illusion of control. It tries to force outcomes based on fear. The true spiritual self is the quiet, steady awareness within. It is connected to God and does not get pulled into the noise of the outer world. It does not react from fear or habit. It responds from inner alignment, knowing that when the inner life is centered in the divine, the outer life naturally comes into order. Looking at Psalms chapter 46 verse 10 states, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth." God will be exalted in the earth through you. Western teachings treat Scripture as a rule book for ego behavior, as belief from emotions for the measure of spirituality. In doing so, they overlook the deeper center of the conscious will, where true spiritual life actually begins. So faith is reduced to agreeing with abstract theological facts in the analytical brain, allowing a person to believe while remaining entirely driven by ego and fear. True faith and trust means letting go of the flesh mind, reacting to every external pressure, which is not allowing the soul to pull back to live from the true spiritual self. In Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 states, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith and trust means refusing to let the outside world dictate your inner state or define who you are. The world will always try to shape you, but the true spiritual self does not conform to it. Having faith and trust is not allowing the outside world to dictate your inner being or who you really are, and not what the world wants you to believe and conform to. Western tradition often treats Scripture like a moral rule book or a checklist to avoid punishment, targeting the ego to try harder, thus creating guilt. But with God, there is absolute sovereignty. Human perception is trying to squeeze an infinite, expanding divine reality into the static box of a human brain. But God directs life every second, in any given moment, in the now present time, in all of eternity. Eternity is the continuous expansion of consciousness, which bottom line is God Himself. Understanding negativity and free will. The flesh manufactures a false duality where evil is a rogue force independent of God. Negativity is the deliberate weight and resistance needed for consciousness to expand, likened to a black velvet backdrop linen that reveals the diamond. Negativity and interaction with others. When another soul entertains negativity, evil or sin, they are acting from their blind ego self. By allowing them their free will means letting them learn by their own experiences. Judging another is the biggest culprit in denying that free will even is so formulated from the mind. Accepting the event means recognizing it passed through the divine filter as a custom test of your own internal equilibrium. Wouldn't that be ultimate faith and trust in God? Didn't Jesus teach forgiveness? And that is how Jesus lived. And his statement from Mark chapter 8 verse 34, where he states, "Whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." The human intellect ego cannot calculate the variables of tomorrow. it was never designed to. True alignment happens when the soul brings its awareness into the present step. The word does not reveal the whole horizon at once. It functions like a lantern placed at your feet. It lights only the next few steps, shaping your path moment by moment, so your life can adjust smoothly to the contours of reality. You stay steady, not by seeing the final destination, but by walking in the light you have right now. The romanticized view that the heart is the seat of fleeting emotions, leading people to follow their whims and fears. The heart is the conscious center of the will. Emotions are just weather patterns passing through. The true spiritual self is the sky. You have emotions, but you are not your emotions. Quoting Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. People think there are limitations to how God directs life, but God directs life every second in the now, for eternity. Divine direction is an active, real-time living. True spiritual life is not about a future physical destination. It is the process of the soul waking up out of the limited ego mind and merging into the vast, limitless awareness of the Creator. God is consciousness, His self. When our awareness expands, we experience His life force expanding through us. Scripture from John chapter 15, verse 5. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit, for without me ye can do nothing. Duality is a construct manufactured entirely by the limited perspective of the flesh mind. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7 reminds us, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. There is no secondary, independent power running amok. To clarify, create evil from the Hebrew language in this text. God created the framework of contrast, light and darkness, peace and adversity. But moral evil arises when the flesh-mind ego acts apart from your true spiritual self. God created the conditions of adversity, judgment, and upheaval that shape nations and souls. If God is in full control of every millisecond, negativity and resistance are deliberate components of the training ground. Just as a muscle cannot grow without physical weight, human consciousness cannot expand without a counterforce to push against. Negativity is the black velvet backdrop that allows the diamond's light to be revealed. And the free will of others, every soul unfolds at its own pace of growth and awakening. The flesh mind usually only learns through severe friction and the consequences of its own choices. When someone inflicts pain or negativity upon you, they are acting from spiritual blindness. Trying to force them to change or carrying anger toward them is an attempt to interfere with their own unique path. You must step out of the way and allow them their free will to live out their experiences and progress at their own pace. True spiritual acceptance means recognizing that what happened, happened, and it could not have occurred any other way because God is in total control. The negativity that reached you had already passed through God. For the other person, it was an act of blind ego. For you, it is a high-level spiritual weight designed to test whether your peace is dependent on external conditions or anchored deeply within the eternal now. By letting go, you recognize the offender as an unwitting instrument used to refine your own consciousness. You leave them to their learning process, refuse to let their blindness dictate your internal state, extract the strength from the moment, and remain completely free. Western thinking positions Jesus as an external entity. It trains people to live separate from him, looking up and begging for help from a distance, driven by the survival fears of the flesh mind. It reduces the relationship to a transactional belief system. He is there, I am here, and if I agree with the facts about him, I am saved. This keeps the ego fully intact and maintains a permanent state of spiritual duality. Jesus explicitly dismantled this distance. He taught a reality of complete, interpenetrating non-duality, as we can read in John chapter 14, verse 20. Jesus states, "On that day ye shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you." There are no borders or separations in that statement. You are not a detached observer trying to please a distant God. Your true spiritual self exists with him, in him, and he is actively living through you. Western teachings tells people they are just sinners who could never be like Jesus, providing a convenient excuse for the flesh mind to never surrender its control. But Jesus' actual instructions were an explicit call to replicate his exact state of consciousness. He commanded his followers to walk as he walked, love as he loved, and operate in the exact same absolute trust that he maintained with the Father. He stated in John 14:12, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father." If you live from your spiritual self in union with the Father that Jesus lived from, you will express the same works because the source is the same. The crucifixion of Christ is the ultimate demonstration of the death of the flesh-mind ego, and the resurrection is the ultimate demonstration of the true spiritual self, waking up into an eternal spiritual life. When you stop looking at Jesus through the lens of Western thinking of separation and start living from the Christ awareness within you, the illusion of the ego breaks. You realize you don't have to wait for a future rescue. You are already anchored in the eternal, expanding now, entirely one with the source of all life, that source being God. MJI LightWorker.